as we can see coming up here on the smart board, we call it method number 2. Our second method we referred to as our bracket method. So on our bracket method, we need to start out with the one that only has only one of the species, one of the organisms has that particular trait, that particular characteristic. And in this case, we're going to build our bracket. Okay, we're going to build our bracket on our bracket method. But we need to use the Venn diagram, right? So as I'm building this, I use my Venn diagram. Did anybody construct a Venn diagram, or do you just use your knowledge of the diagram, the table? Okay? You could do both. You don't necessarily have to have the Venn diagram. I think the Venn diagram helps make it a little bit easier, though. Okay? But what is the one on here that only has one of the traits? Lewis says the shark, and that shark only has what? The vertebrae. So as I construct my very first one, off to the side, and I don't know if, here is the common ancestor to every one of these. Now, it's not listed right now, but it would be right there. So, in this bracket one, okay, the trait has a vertebrae, right? And the organism was the shark, correct? So, as you can see, from down here on the bottom are going to be the oldest ones. Where are the youngest ones going to be? Up at the top. Now, is it always going to be bottom and top? It depends how your bracket's built. Okay? It depends on how your bracket is built. Now, what was my next one? I build my bracket here. What was my next trait? Okay? My next trait was what? 2 pair of legs. Okay? Or limbs, right? Say legs or limbs? Limbs. 2 pair of limbs. And what animal was associated with that one? The bullfrog, right? So which came along first, the bullfrog or the shark? The shark. I build, I continue on, I make my bracket now, my new bracket. Okay? My next trait was mammary glands. Mammary glands, and what came along with the mammary glands was the kangaroo. And the final one was placenta and the human. Now, if we go through, so your brackets should look something similar to this. Could I have the absolute opposite and have the shark on top and the human on bottom and it still be correct? Yeah, it depends on how you build it. Could I flop it from left to right? Yeah, I could flop it left to right. Okay, so we could do this many different ways. We could do this many different ways. Now, let's do some things with reading this. Okay, let's do some reading here. What do you think are the 2 most closely related organisms on this? Okay, what do you think the most closely related are? Jonathan? The kangaroo and the human, because they've got the most things alike, right? They both have vertebrae. They both have 2 pair of limbs. They both have mammary glands, right? What's the only thing they don't have? Okay? The kangaroo doesn't have a placenta, does it? The human does. Okay? The human does. Now, what is the common ancestor of all of these things based on our diagram? The shark, right? Because we trace it all the way back the furthest. The shark. Okay? The shark. So basically what we're saying here, that over many, 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 many years, that somehow this water animal adapted to be land animals, right? Did you ever think about that? We got a water animal right here. Right here we got an amphibian, right? What's an amphibian? Both land and water. These are definitely, is that a water animal? No. Okay. Humans? No, we can't. I mean, we can go underwater, but we don't want to live there, right? So, that is the way in which we construct our bracket method. Okay? Now,